The next presentation is actually called The Next MENA Unicorn. It has a question mark on it, but I talked to Danny before and he thinks there shouldn't really be a question mark because we're going to hear from an entrepreneur who is building something growing fast and ambitious. It's the world's first Sharia-compliant robo-financial advisor. It's called Wahid Invest. And to tell us more, very pleased to welcome the CEO, Junaid Wahedna.
Thank you. No, Danny is very kind, and yeah, MENA's next unicorn, no pressure, right? But so I'll start off by introducing, what we do. So Robo Advisory is basically wealth management using mathematics and technology. So getting rid of the complete middleman. Usually you'd go to the traditional wealth managers, they sit with you, give you your portfolio, all the paperwork. With Robo Advisory, mathematically we can say data shows you can do better by cutting everything out right through the middle. We started around 2 years ago, headquartered in New York till today, and we got SEC regulated. So we were actually the first firm to put the word Sharia in a SEC registration document. So it did take a little longer, but so far so good. And of course, it's the Islamic niche that we focus on, which we actually learned is not a niche at all. So I'll talk more about that, but basically what that means is we screen these investments for certain things, so excessive debt, tobacco, pork, alcohol, anything unethical, and we have our Sharia board to purify and everything of that sort. So I'll start off with why the need for this came about. And the Islamic finance industry, to give you a background, it's quite inefficient. To say it diplomatically, wealth management starts for the high net worths and institutions. There's really no retail offering. It's it's just in the Middle East region and Malaysia, so a few certain countries, and there's absolutely no retail offering. So what do the 99% of Muslims who don't have $1 million or $2 million do? There's absolutely nothing for them. And another inefficiency in the industry was there's no transparency. So you have these mutual funds, you have these hedge funds and private equity firms, you get the periodic reports, but as a conscious investor, where is your money going? There's no transparency at all. And then, of course, the biggest problem that plagues the industry is diversification. There are no asset classes. So what that means is you have equities, you have fixed income, bonds and sukuks in our case, you have commodities, you have real estate. But in Islamic finance, it's very hard to get access to those instruments. You need to have a lot of money. So sukuks, for example, the equivalent of bonds, trade at around $200,000 blocks over the counter. There's no way anyone can trade those, so it's very inefficient in that sense. So we set out to really make this industry efficient, very disheartened by what was currently going on, and we went out to put together sort of an A-team. So me personally, as Danny says, I'm a product of Dubai. I grew up here, went to school here. I went to AUD, after which I went to Columbia for my master's. I studied industrial engineering and operations research, focusing on financial engineering and stochastic mathematics. Then I worked on Wall Street for a bit, merchant banking, and set this up. So our team was made to bring that talent pool into this industry. And try to make it efficient and up to speed so that there doesn't have to be a cost of being Muslim or an ethical investor per se. So, just to give you an idea, our head of technology is ex-Microsoft Research. He also has a master's from Columbia in AI, machine learning, from the computer science department. We have people from Goldman Sachs, from the best of the best, because we wanted to bring that talent into the industry and re-engineer it, because we could not believe and did not understand why there is no efficient way for people to invest money. It's just people keep it in cash or put it in real estate. There is no middle ground. And we found it a really nice challenge to go about and do this. This video will give you a summary of the product. There's no audio.
First, we ask you 8 simple questions to recommend a portfolio based on your risk profile. You then select your portfolio and simply sign up online. Your account can be approved in seconds. After you fund your account, we'll place the trades for you according to your recommended portfolio. All you have to do then is sit back and monitor your performance. It actually is that easy. Become a halal investor today.
So you missed the first bit, but basically just to recap quickly, it's completely digital. It's as simple as opening up an account with an app, but you're opening up a wealth management account, which is quite unheard of. And we can talk a bit about that later. Now, the application for this is what's actually very interesting. And so the most obvious one is allowing the majority of consumers to actually invest, because right now they have absolutely no options. And this may sound very simple, but the numbers are staggering. We get emails from the corners of the world saying, I have nowhere to keep my money, can I just keep it with you? Because there's no Islamic bank nearby. They're only in these little regional pockets, but there's 2 billion Muslims in the world. So our minimum investment amount is $100. So $100 versus $2 million. There's nothing in between. And we're very proud of this fact, because even fundamentally speaking, in terms of ethics, investing should be democratic. There shouldn't be a different risk return profile for the rich and for the poor. So what we've done is, mathematically speaking, someone with $100 can have the exact same expected return and standard deviation as someone with $10, $20 million. And that's saying quite a bit, probably more in this region, because wealth managers here are even a little more inefficient. Another thing which is very interesting, and this is an application in conventional robo-advisory that has happened, is we can allow a savings culture to start in our economy. And this is really needed. The Western world is very advanced in terms of pensions, in helping people save, but we haven't gotten there yet. And using robo-advisory, the best case study is Uber. So Betterment partnered with Uber, and Uber had, let's say 100,000 drivers. Every single staff member of Uber could instantly open an account for their unique risk profile and manage their money and savings for no cost, because they're all scalable systems, rather than paying large sums of money having to manage each of those pension accounts. So the efficiency is unbelievable. From a mathematical and finance perspective, passive investing, diversification with this low-cost fee beats active investing almost all the time, and the specific figure is 81% of the time. So it's really one of those data-driven, hands-down things where it's an inefficiency and it's a matter of time. So, for example, even BlackRock, they took a decision to fire some 15,000 financial advisors because there's no need for them anymore. Mathematically, you can always win. There's no inefficiencies in the market anymore. It's getting less and less and less. Now, of course, being a tech product, we have to talk about the technology. The main thing, like I was saying, is the full digital experience. And this isn't like an app where anyone can make an app and make it digital. It's a financial services company. It's regulated by the Securities Exchange Commission, by a regulator. You need the KYC, which is the due diligence, the AML, anti-money laundering, all of those checks done. So what we have done is digitalize the entire process. But we went a step further. So right now, for our clients, when you open an account, you can select the bank you're with and put your bank's login details, see your accounts, and instantly link and fund your account. There's, I think, 4 firms in the world that have this capability to our scale, for at a sort of institutional scalable level. And so we're very, very proud of that, and we're very proud to be bringing this here so that everyone who has access to the internet, who has any sort of document, can open an account in 2 minutes. It's funded, it's traded as efficiently, if not more efficiently, than someone goes to one of the largest banks with $10 million. It's completely democratized and liquid. Now, how do we allow this to happen? The $100, why can't everyone else do it for $100? So this is actually very interesting. It's fractional trading, which is what we do behind the lines. So for example, let's say a sukuk costs $200,000, equities have their price, REITs, all the asset classes. We manage to I think it's a BIP, 0.001 decimal point, fractional shares of each of these units to allocate to our clients. Because we have thousands of clients already, it's very easy to bring that minimum this low. So if someone puts in $100, we can give them the exact exposure to thousands of securities with just that $100. So his return profile is, like I was saying, as an ultra-high net worth. And again, especially in the MENA region, this is a very, very big deal to apply these liquidity filters to Islamic finance. Another very key point of our tech stack is the fact that we have infrastructure that enables us to onboard clients from 150 countries. The reason we don't do that is we don't want to just, it's one at a time. We want to do it very prudently and confidently. But that, again, is a very big deal. We've connected to 24 stock exchanges worldwide. We can trade fractional on all of those. We custody our own funds. It is ready to scale. And so tech-wise, we're very proud. We've spent the past 2 years building that foundation of compliance, infrastructure, and technology. Now, obviously, this is just plans, so we'll talk about the actual results we've got in the US. Now, you would think of Islamic finance as a niche. Rightly so. That's what it's seen as. In the US, we have 3 million Muslims out of 300 million population, approximately. It's very, a minuscule number. However, for the time we've been active, we've seen a growth rate 3 times that of a conventional robo-advisor. And these are the biggest, the most successful conventional robo-advisors. So what have we missed? Why hasn't anyone gone into this market? And the biggest reason that we've seen is it did not make economic sense until today, to where we have the internet, where we have these scalable systems to cater to people geographically diversified. The largest, Islamic wealth advisor, for example, in North America, again catering to not all the high net worths, serves 13 states. In the first month, we had clients from 40 different states. So this is our proof of concept in working with one of the hardest regulatory countries, where it's very expensive to acquire clients, it's very hard, and coming in with these analytics where we say now we know that there's not 3 million, there's a 2 billion population where we can target specifically over 100 million people that we know need this product. So it's one of those things where no one's really gone before. We try to find research, when we're building our business plans and our strategy. And what's crazy is for Islamic finance, if we look at this niche, there's no retail research done at all. It's all for high net worths. It's all for institutions. No one has bothered to do any research as to where are the masses. As of today, the country with the largest pre-registrations for us and pledged amounts is India. No one would think that. There's 250 million Muslims in India and they have no access, but now they have the internet. It's unbelievable what this is sort of capable of doing. So we're very excited to see what happens. A big problem which we faced was credibility. Because when we went to market, it was like, Islamic finance, it's just a Ponzi scheme, you put a wrapper around it, you price it more. And it's very unfortunate that that's actually the case. You have these mutual funds, you have all these Islamic finance products, and for some reason they're more expensive. And it doesn't make any sense. So it genuinely does not have to be. So it took us a while to build that credibility, to get that knowledge out there, and we're still working on it. Something really cool we did was we sponsored the Times Square billboard on Eid, wishing Eid Mubarak, and like in Trump City, and it was a very big sort of exposure piece, and it got over 1 million shares, and we are trying to lead the way, saying just because we are from this culture that moves forward with ethics, with keeping in mind these rationale, does not mean there has to be a cost associated with it. And so far, we've really delivered that message. Of course, we're here because it's a MENA summit. It's an incredible market as of today. Looking at the numbers, we all know that it is just ready and ripe for growth and scalability and disruption, if you can say so. And it is a matter of time, I feel, where the talent will also come here. We are moving our base here. We are bringing our talent here. People want to be here. And the market is beautiful. You have a high internet penetration rate. You have all bankable consumers. So it's one of the things that we're very excited about. Our product is for the millennial demographic, 25 to 30. What's really interesting, actually, is we made it for the lower income demographic, but all our clients are in financial services, they're doctors, they're lawyers, and so it is very surprising that they are starting to prefer a transparent, automated system that they understand rather than a traditional wealth advisor that you have to meet, you have to keep up with, they have their high fees. And that is something, that we plan to do, inshallah, by the end of the year. Now, the main point here is the real scalability. And with our proof of concept of 3 million people in the US, we're now bringing to a world of 2 billion Muslims. We have the minimum of $100 million. We have just a matter of time, you can say. We want to keep our price low. We charge 50 basis points, 0.5%, as opposed to 3% on average if you take all the fees into account. And so it's very exciting for all of us. And we're very happy to have BICO supporting us through this, with their help in this region. We feel it'll be a real anchor to us, and the UAE is the perfect country to prove that anchor, which we're planning to do. So, yeah, inshallah, let's see. Thank you.